Okay, here we go for quiz 29. And started off, we're going to go off with some of the scores from last week. Some good scores, some records getting broke here last week. So I've tried to throw a few harder ones in, so don't think I'm getting above 30. Right, Jean and Davy got a 23, which is a good score because there's some tough ones there. Carlin and Brian got a 20. Billy and Margaret. Billy's still recovering, he hasn't done it yet. I haven't had an email from Billy yet saying, Margaret saying what he got. Josie and Bill got a 29. John and Dawn got a 29. These are all the scores over 20. And Stevie and Rita had a 35. So that's a highest score so far in the whole series of this year. 35. Right, that's a tough one, so I'm going to keep that till the last. Question 1. Who wrote the book Ivanhoe? Who wrote the book Ivanhoe? Number 2. In the book James and the Giant Peach, which sort of animal killed James's parents? Okay, in the book James and the Giant Peach, which type of animal killed James' parents? Okay, very wee sports one for you. Which team plays against Borussia Dortmund in a football derby known as Der Klassiker? Okay, so which team plays against Borussia Dortmund in the derby game known as Der Klassiker? Okay, number 4, the TV film, everybody's seen Goodfellas at one stage or another. So it was based on which real life family, crime family? The film Goodfellas was based on which real life crime family? Number 5. What's the name of the extra digit and claw that grows further up a dog's leg than the other claws? The one that sits up a wee bit like the heel, or up on the ankle. What's the name of the extra digit and claw that grows further up a dog's leg than the other claws? What's it called? And number 6, who succeeded Churchill as Prime Minister in 1955? Number 1, if anybody hasn't seen this, they're not going to get it, but they could guess it. What game was played? Okay, they were sort of all played children's childhood games, just played as a kid. So if you haven't seen it, it gives you a wee bit of a clue. What game was played in episode 1 of the series Squid Game? It's one of the biggest watched series in Netflix. Squid Game. What game did they play in episode 1 of Squid Game? It was based on all kids' games that they played when they were younger in the 60s, 70s or something like that. Okay, number 8, another wee film movie one. The two bodies called it Jasper and Horace appeared in which Disney movie? The two bodies called Jasper and Horace appeared in which Disney movie? Okay, get them answers down. If you want to rewind this back, I'm going to give you the answers to round 1. Who wrote the book Ivanhoe? Sir Walter Scott. In the book James and the Giant Peach, which animal killed James's parents? A rhinoceros. Which team plays Borussia Dortmund in their football derby known as Der Klassiker? It's Bayern Munich. And the film Goodfellas was based on which real life crime family? The Gambinos. And number 5. What's the name of the extra digit and claw that grows further up a dog's leg than the other claws? It's the dew claw, D-E-W, the dew claw. And who succeeded Churchill as Prime Minister in 1955? Anthony Eden. And which game was played in episode 1 of Squid Game? It was red light, green light. And the two bodies, Jasper and Horace, appeared in which Disney movie? 101 Dalmatians. Okay, round 2. Going to get tougher. I don't want everybody to head away over 30 this week, so there's a couple of your tougher ones there. Round 2, number 1. Which buildings did Don Quixote mistake for evil giants? Okay. Which buildings did Don Quixote mistake for evil giants? Number 2. In the UK we call them factories. What do they call them in America? In the UK we call them factories. What do they call them in America? Number 2. What's the Spanish word for devil? What's the Spanish word for devil? Number 4. Who was the last Prime Minister of Britain whose surname started with a vowel? Who was the last Prime Minister of Britain whose surname started with a vowel? And what colour is the ribbon of the Victoria Cross? What colour is the ribbon of the Victoria Cross? I'm going to have to go back to number 5 because I didn't finish off the question. I'll do it from memory and hope I'm right. So we're going to go back to question 5. So make sure you have a wee ticket to question 5 and go back to that. That was number 6, that one. Number 7. What does scotopic vision allow you to do? SCOT, scotopic vision allow you to do? And number 8. Who was the leader of the Khmer Rouge? Who was the leader of the Khmer Rouge? Okay, I'm going to go back to this 4-5 question. I hope I've got it right off my head. What's the wee bit of it? What was a film called about Queen Victoria and her relationship with, was he a gardener or a groundsman? I'll just say Billy Connolly. What was a film called about Queen Victoria and her relationship with Billy Connolly? Yeah, Billy Connolly played the part because I don't know whether he was a groundsman or a gardener or just a friend, but what was the film called about Queen Victoria and her relationship with the part that Billy Connolly played in the film? What was the name of the movie? Get them answers down. Right, here we go. Question 1 answers. Which buildings did Don Quixote mistake for evil giants? Windmills. In the UK we call them factories. What do they call them in America? Plants. What's the Spanish word for devil? Diablo. Who was the last Prime Minister of Britain whose surname started with a vowel? Let's back to that guy again. Anthony Eden. Let's probably give it away. I shouldn't have asked that one. I didn't know I had 2. Wait a minute. What was the film called about Queen Victoria and her relationship with a gardener or a groundsman or the guy that Billy Connolly played? It was Mrs. Brown. Was it Mrs. Brown? Agnes Brown. I might be doubting myself now. Was it Agnes Brown or am I thinking of something else? Who was Agnes Brown? Well, if you said Agnes, maybe I'm thinking of something else. If you give yourself a point anyway, I've messed that question up. So give yourselves a point. What colour is the ribbon of the Victoria Cross? Purple. What does scotopic vision allow you to do? See in the dark. And who was the leader of the Khmer Rouge? Pol Pot. Or Pol Pot, I don't know how you say it. Right. Number 3, round 3, number 1. In the Kersal Flyers' big hit, in which city did he buy his girl a bikini? In the Kersal Flyers' big hit, in which city did he buy his girlfriend a bikini? Number 2. Who played the Star Spangled Banner on his guitar at Woodstock? Who played the Star Spangled Banner on his guitar in Woodstock? Number 3. What sort of dress did Lady Gaga wear to the 2010 MTV Music Awards? What sort of dress did Lady Gaga wear in the 2010 MTV Music Awards? 11 years, over 11, near 12 years ago, I wouldn't believe it. Oof. January. Sick and tired, you've been hanging on me, were lyrics sung by which group? January. Sick and tired, you've been hanging on me, were lyrics sang by which group? And number 5. Which composer wrote the Wedding March? Which composer wrote the Wedding March? Okay, number 6. Which group took their name from 2 characters in the Tintin adventures? Which group took their name from 2 characters in the Tintin adventures? Okay, we're going back to 1978, and this is a line from a song. I want to tell you the name of the song. Thanks for the times that you've given me. Okay, it's a 1978 hit. I want to know what song it is, and one of the lyrics is, thanks for the times that you've given me. Right, we're going back even further than that there. We're going back to the 60s. I'm going to give you a lyric. I was born in a crossfire hurricane. What's a song? I was born in a crossfire hurricane. Okay, get the answers down. We're going to give you the answers now. Number 1. In the Kershaw Flyers big hit, in which city did he buy his girl a bikini? The one that I bought her in Rome. Rome, he bought it in Rome. Who played the Star Spangled Banner on his guitar at Woodstock? Jimi Hendrix. And what sort of dress did Lady Gaga wear to the 2010 MTV Awards? A meat dress, a little bits of meat dress. January, sick and tired, you've been hanging on me, were lyrics sung by which group? Pilot. And which composer wrote the Wedding March? Felix Mendelssohn. Felix Mendelssohn. And which group took their name from 2 characters in the Tintin adventures? The Thompson twins. They were 2 wee detectives with bowler hats and a moustache, the Thompson twins. In 1978, this was a line from a song, thanks for the times that you've given me. It's 3 Times a Lady by the Commodores. And number 8, I was born in a crossfire hurricane. It's Jumpin' Jack Flash by the Rolling Stones. Okay, get them scores down. We're going to move on to round 4. What are we at? 13 and a half minutes. Round 4, question 1. Which part of the body is affected if you have cirrhosis? Which part of the body is affected if you have cirrhosis? Number 2, the US series Breaking Bad, one of my wee favourites, is set in which state? What state is Breaking Bad set in? Number 3, what kind of meat is a traditional Irish stew made with? Okay, what type of meat is a traditional Irish stew made with? Here's a wee tough one. What's the smallest country in mainland Africa? What's the smallest country in mainland Africa? Here's one you'll probably forgot about. Which brand name did Woolworths use from 1963 until in the 1980s? Okay, what was the brand name that Woolworths used from 1963 until the 1980s? Number 6, The film director Cecil B. DeMille, everybody's heard of Cecil B. DeMille, but what did the B stand for? What did the B stand for in Cecil B. DeMille? And when was the last time the BBC played the national anthem before closing down? BBC One or BBC Two? I tried to get this a couple of weeks ago on YouTube that nobody would give you a definite answer, but I was watching a programme where there it was on the TV and it said it, so took a photo of it and to make sure I remember what it was. When was the last time that BBC used the national anthem when it was closing down? It used to close down after midnight. I'm going to give you 2 years either way. So 2 years either way you've got. Number 8. What was the herbicide called that was used by the US military during the Vietnam War? What was the herbicide called that was used by the US military during the Vietnam War? What was the name of it? Okay, get your answers down if you want to go back on some of them, because I'm going to call out the answers here. Just make sure you pause it so you don't hear it. Okay, is everybody finished? Right, here we go. Which part of the body is affected if you have cirrhosis? It's the liver. The US series Breaking Bad is set in which state? New Mexico. And what kind of meat is traditional Irish stew made with? It's mutton. And what's the smallest country in mainland Africa? It's the Gambia. And what brand name did Woolworths use from 1963 until the 1980s? Winfield. Winfield. And the film director Cecil B. DeMille, what did the B stand for? Blount. B-L-O-U-N-T. Is that how you say it? Blount. B-L-O-U-N-T. Number 7. What was the last time the BBC played the national anthem before closing down? It mightn't have been BBC One, because they started going through the night with programmes. I think BBC Two closed. It's a wee bit on from that. And you've got 2 years other way. It was 1997. I would have thought it was about the 80s, but it was 1997. It was on the TV the other day. And what was the herbicide? Oh, so if you put down 95, anything from 95 to 99, give yourselves a point for that. And what was the herbicide that was used by the US military during the Vietnam War? Agent Orange. Agent Orange. Get them scores down. We're going to move on to the last round. It's just over 18 minutes. So we've got a couple of wee tough ones here. Everybody's fairly improving in them scores. John and Dawn and Josie and Bill, 29. I think I would have won it nearly any week at 29. Stephen Reid at 25. 35, that's great. And Davey and Jean up there at 23. And Brian and Caroline and Brian 20. Billy still hasn't recovered yet to do the quiz, but hopefully he'll do it next week. Round 1. Joseph Stalin. What does the name Stalin mean? What does Stalin mean? Number 2. What's usually mixed with silver to produce sterling silver? What is usually mixed with silver to produce sterling silver? Number 3. For the first time in World Cup history, what happened in the 1994 Cup final match? Okay. For the first time in World Cup history, what happened in the 1994 Cup final match? Made this read a bit tougher to stop breaking through into the 30s again. Okay, what's the only Christian country in Asia? What's the only Christian country in Asia? Here's one for Stevie. What is a crapulous person full of? What is a crapulous person full full of. C-R-A-P, cropulus. There's another one I didn't know, I just came across this the other day. Who was Asa? Remember, like, it's not how you said Asa, like, used to play, remember Asa Hartford used to play for Man City, Asa. Who was Asa Yoelson, better known as, that's A-S-A, Y-O-E-L-S-O-N. Is that how you said? Asa Yoelson, better known as. Here's a tough one. The RAF motto is Per Ardua ad Astra. No, sorry. Per Ardua ad Astra. That's P-E-R and then A-R-D-U-R, then A-D and Astra. Per Ardua ad Astra. What does it mean? The RAF motto. And the last one, wee music one, the Carpenters. Which Carpenter's hit was the name of a food dish? Which Carpenter's hit was the name of a food dish? Okay, if you want to pause that and go back on some of them, I'm going to give you the answers. Joseph Stalin, what does the name Stalin mean? Man of steel. What's usually mixed with silver to produce sterling silver? Copper. For the first time in World Cup history, what happened in the 1994 Cup final match? It went to penalties. And what's the only Christian country in Asia? The Philippines. And what's a cropulous person full of? Alcohol. And who was Asa Yoelson better known as? Al Johnson. In the RAF motto, Per Ardua ad Astra. What does it mean? Through difficulty to the stars. Through difficulty to the stars. And which Carpenter's hit was the name of a food dish? Jambalaya. Jambalaya. It's meat and vegetables mixed with rice. Okay, so that's jambalaya. Get all them scores up and let me know how you have all done. And hopefully I won't go as far away as 35. Hopefully you'd like to see I'm getting about a quarter of it wrong. Always aim that if you get 30 you're doing great. But 35 was amazing. Okay, I'll see you all next week. After next week's, that'll be 2,000 questions asked after next week's quiz. Okay, catch you soon.